If you want more FIFA content from me, I'm now uploading exclusive videos to Patreon. The link for that is down below. And if you want to avoid the random lottery that is FIFA points, you can go straight to the source with u7buy.com. And of course, you can use the code TVM at checkout to get yourself a discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another player review. 86 rated Foot Birthday Cordoba. And of course, this is one of those free objective cards. I say free, of course, you do have to put your time into it, which a lot of people will cherish, although a lot of us have got a lot of time to spare. So doing this isn't actually too difficult if you can beat the AI on World Class. Of course, there are easier ways to do it. There are lower rated teams. You know, you get those sort of 40, 50 rated teams with really low chemistry, or 60 rated teams, or whatever they may be. I think 40 was a bit low. But they're not too difficult at all. They can barely pass the ball around. You should be able to beat those. And of course, there is a glitch. So once you get your goal, or 2 goals, or 4 goals, or if you're trying to do it all at once, you can just go into the penalty area of your opponent and just sort of do 2 fake shots, and you'll just stand still. Your opponent will stand still, and you can just watch a film while getting it done. I actually watched Independence Day when I was just playing, scored my goals, sat there, waited for the game to finish, moved into the next, got it done, and just sat there watching Independence Day. That is the kind of objective we're talking about. Now, the card you get back for it, you would expect to be decent but not amazing, because obviously that glitch exists, and squad battles, for a lot of people, is just time-consuming. It's not difficult. So with Cordoba, you get an 86 rated card who isn't meta by any stretch of the imagination. He has a high and stocky body type. He is 6'2". He's only got a 3-star weak foot with 78 agility. You can pretty much assume what's going to come through this review, but you'd be wrong, because there is actually a few hidden traits knocking about the place. Now, I don't mean that in actual traits, so like I'm not going to go over to the traits tab and you're going to see meta or anything like that. What I mean is, he's got a lot going for him that you wouldn't necessarily consider until someone sits down and goes, look, I've played with him, this is what happens. And you go, actually, yeah, thinking about it, I can imagine that would be the case. So let me go through some of his stats then. 86 acceleration, 96 sprint speed. He doesn't feel anywhere near as fast as that, but he does have a little bit of a zip to him, which is nice. Of course, the big upgrade here is the 5-star skills. I think he had 3-star before, didn't he? So up to, you know what, I'm going to check. I'm not going to be lazy, I'm going to check. It's one click of a button. It is. So he's up from 3-star to 5-star. I actually thought, in my first game, when I played with him, I didn't realize he had 5-star skills. I didn't do one 5-star skill move, or indeed any skill move, because I thought he had a 5-star weak foot. Now, I know all Foot Birthday cards have been upgraded to a 5-star something, but I thought his was a weak foot, because it just makes more sense. Why give a card like this 5-star skills? Well, there is a reason behind it, and you can actually have an awful lot of fun. Now, I put a sniper on him without really thinking about it. Would I change my mind going forward? I don't think so. I think marksman is wasted because of the jumping is irrelevant. The strength is basically 99 anyway. So the sniper's probably the best bang for your buck. You don't need to improve the shot power. You get 15 finishing, which takes him up to 99. You got 89 positioning, and you improve the agility as much as you possibly can. The team have got him in right there. Of course, I was reviewing the season objective Fred as well. Go check that out. That's been on the channel for quite a while, doing relatively well as well. I appreciate the views on that. And you'll see some of the clips from that review in this as well. Having said that, though, we've got a card here that a lot of people are going to turn their nose up at, and there's a reason why you shouldn't. And if you use skills in particular, you will get more out of this guy than if you were to not use skills. So in the first game that I played with him, I actually thought he wasn't that great because his mobility was dreadful. Even with a sniper, he doesn't feel even remotely agile, and he's just not that quick, right? But then as soon as you start incorporating the odd skill move, ball roll, drag back and things like that, you start to get a sense of why this card could actually be good. And it's to do with strength, believe it or not. So he has 97 strength, 6'2", and a stocky body type. So with that, instantly what I would say to you, or what you would assume, is that he's just going to feel really slow and horrible. And to an extent he does, but when you do skill moves and you don't necessarily pull it off, it doesn't really matter too much, because you still can't get the ball off him. What will happen is he'll do a roulette or a McGeady spin or whatever it may be, and you'll see it time and time again in these clips. Like, okay, maybe not there because he didn't actually touch his opponent, but when the ball gets too close to, like here, the ball got too close to the defender twice and he still came out with it because he has strength, because he has a stocky body type, he is more than capable of winning through, even if he's still not in possession of the ball, because he has the body type and the height and the strength to allow him to just keep hold of the ball. It doesn't stick to his foot necessarily, but it almost feels like cheating having the card, because he just won't let go of the ball, no matter how bad you are at skills, no matter how the ball gets away from you. This is a great example. He manages to just beat about 5 players here. You just can't get the ball off him, because even if you do get near him, you can't get it away from him because of that strength, that body type, that height. Like there, I should have lost the ball there, but his strength allowed him to hold on to it. Okay, my defender potentially should have done a bit better. He did eventually get fouled and we won the penalty, to which he put away. I've scored my fair share of penalties lately. I normally miss them, going through that period where I score them all the time. I don't really know why. This is an example of the pace. So he's getting caught. He's not really pulling away. He's forced into a challenge with John Stones. That's the second challenge he actually makes. Is that the same game? I'm really confused. I'm not sure. Either way, John Stones fouled him twice in the space of a few minutes. I think he got red carded then, incidentally. But still, even when he's up against pacier or even slower defenders, he doesn't really pull away from any of them. So the pace and acceleration, it's there. It's not terrible. It's okay. You can use it, sure, but it's not. Even though he's got 86 acceleration, 96 sprint speed. If you up that, if you gave him a hunter, for example, and you've got 96 acceleration, 99 sprint speed, he's still not going to feel that quick, and that's all down to that agility, body type, height, etc. There is another negative worth talking about. Of course, it's the high defensive work rate. That on any striker, no matter who you are. Well, saying that, maybe Roberto Firmino, but in FIFA, not so much. It's just not a good look. It's not a good chem style. It's not useful. You don't want it anywhere near your strikers or your attackers in general. So that's a downside. Is this card going to be weekend league ready? No, of course it's not. Is it going to be a card that you're going to want to pick up because he's that good? No. However, it is something completely different that just doesn't exist in this game, except maybe a winter refresh. Zlatan Ibrahimovic does he have a winter refresh card? I think he does. He'll have he'll have the strength, and he'll have a better weak foot as well, I would imagine. But this card is very unique, unlike any other that I've used. I went into it fully expected him to be absolutely terrible, and to my surprise, okay, the first game, I think he actually scored a ridiculous amount of goals in the first game, and my opponent wasn't necessarily blessed with quality. His team wasn't amazing, and I started to showboat an awful lot, while still watching Independence Day, I might add. But I was showboating, and I wasn't really paying attention in the first game that much, because as soon as we started to pull away, my opponent gave up a little bit. So I took it on the chin, and I was like, right, well, I won't really read too much into this. You know, maybe the first, 20, 30 minutes, I'll sort of look into. The rest of it, I didn't include the clips, basically, because he scored a lot of goals. But then going into the other games, I thought, right, well, this is going to be a real test. We're coming against icons and Team of the Year cards and what have you. And I just thought, right, this is where we're going to start to see this card unravel. And he just didn't. He held up his end of the bargain. He was very, very good on the ball, despite not being quote-unquote meta, despite not having a massive degree of mobility. He still felt really good on the ball, and he was still very good in front of goal. And his skill moves are actually really useful. And combined with that strength, I actually think this is worth the grind, you know. You've got a fair few days to go now. You've got, Squad Battles rewards are tonight, which is a bit of a shame if you haven't done any of it up until now. There's no real sort of incentive to go for it to get rewards in the next, 24, 48 hours. You're going to have to wait a week, basically. But if you get starting right now and you can play, 4 or 5 games, you might be able to make it into the gold sort of section of Squad Battles. I'm not quite sure of the points right now, but you might be able to get some packs back as well. And then when you do pick this card up, it's fun. He is genuinely fun to use. If you just want to try and squeeze as much enjoyment out of this game as possible, use cards you don't normally use, you can definitely get an awful lot of enjoyment out of this card. Not one that you'd want to be using in Weekend League, I know, but still, something different, and he definitely beat up my expectations. Class 3 for sure, but definitely worth it. If you have enjoyed this review and you've got an opinion on Cordoba, let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel for new, of course, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.